Welcome back. We start with the top stories of today. All right, I beg your pardon. We're going to in fact start with a top story. We'll in fact get you the headlines in just a bit. Prime Minister Modi is in Varanasi to file his nomination for the Lok Sabha polls. He will be filing his nomination at 11:40 a.m. in just a few hours from now. He has chosen this particular time as it is considered extremely auspicious as it falls under the Abhijit Muhurat and Anand Yog as per the Hindu Panchang. 12 chief ministers will be in attendance and several union ministers, including Defence Minister Rajnath Singh and Home Minister Amit Shah and presidents of various NDA allies, are also likely to be present there on the occasion. Prior to this, the Prime Minister will begin his day with a dip in the Ganga at the Dashashmabhed Ghat and head for a puja at the famous Kal Bhairav temple soon after. Remember viewers, the Varanasi Lok Sabha constituency witnessed a historic clash in 2014 when Prime Minister Modi contested against Aam Aadmi Party Supremo and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Prime Minister Modi achieved a resounding victory with a margin exceeding 3 lakh votes. PM Modi's victory in 2014 was followed by an even more emphatic victory in 2019, which solidified Varanasi's status as a BJP stronghold, a legacy he aims to extend in the upcoming elections. My colleague Devika is on the ground at the DM's office where the PM shall file his nomination. Let's take a look at what the atmosphere looks like.
I'm currently standing at the office of the District Magistrate in Varanasi. This is the building right behind me where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be submitting his nomination as a contestant from Varanasi today at around 11:30 a.m. This is where the Prime Minister's cavalcade will finally conclude its visit to Varanasi. We've been told that Prime Minister Modi will be beginning his day with a dip in the holy waters of the Ganga river. After that, he will be making his way to the Kal Bhairav temple to seek blessings. Remember viewers, it is said that if you visit Varanasi, you must visit both the Kashi Vishwanath Mandir as well as the Kal Bhairav temple, and that's precisely what the Prime Minister will be doing. We've also been informed that after that, Prime Minister Modi will make his way to the Taj Hotel in Varanasi, where he will be welcomed by 12 chief ministers of different BJP states, who will then join the Prime Minister and his cavalcade as they make their way to the Kacheri Chowk where we're standing currently. And you can see that the entire chalk has been decorated in colors of saffron with saffron balloons, hoardings of the Prime Minister and other floral decorations as well in anticipation of the Prime Minister's arrival. We've been told that in just a few hours from now, this entire chalk will become a further fortress of the police. I will ask my cameraman to just rotate and show that that entire route from there has already been blockaded in anticipation of the Prime Minister's arrival. Not a lot of movement is being allowed. So we are expecting that the Prime Minister will be making his way through a special blockaded route. Remember viewers, once the Prime Minister submits his nomination today, he becomes an official part of the 2024 Lok Sabha contest. The BJP has set a very ambitious target for the Prime Minister who's contesting for the third time from this particular seat of Kashi. The BJP says that Prime Minister Modi will win with a greater majority this time around. They believe that last time in 2019 his margin was 63%, but the BJP is hopeful that this time the Prime Minister's vote share will breach the 7 lakh target that they have very ambitiously set for the Prime Minister himself. And like I said, this will be his third time contesting from Varanasi. He is once again up against Ajay Rai of the Congress party, who's not managed to defeat the Prime Minister in the last 2 polls.
All right, at this point in time, Rajalakshmi Joshi, political analyst with us on the broadcast. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, also joins us. Rajalakshmi Joshi and Mr. Bhatt, a very good morning to you. Rajalakshmi, I'll begin with you. Well, the Prime Minister, is in Kashi. He likes to call it my Kashi, Meri Kashi now. And, the entire point of discussing what the Prime Minister's nomination is going to look like and why he should come back as the Lok Sabha Member of Parliament from this particular constituency is because he's walked the talk. He, in fact, has done everything a member of parliament or a representative that is chosen by the people is supposed to do. And this is not something which I am saying. We have borne testimony. We have seen people, we have spoken to people on the ground through our reporters who are in Kashi at this point in time, who have validated that, the current development in Kashi has, superseded or in fact taken over all the development that happened before his tenure of 65 years, ever since independence. Now, there are two reasons to in fact be very, very happy about that. First, if a city like Kashi, which is also a cultural seat for Hindus, a heritage seat for the Hindus throughout the world, can come of age in the fashion it has, then of course the rest of the cities are only a political will away from what Kashi has achieved.
Very good morning, Vineet. And the scenes of PM Modi at Kashi, at the ghats, and it is something that is amazing because he is unapologetically Hindu and he wears his religion on his sleeve, and he strongly believes in this thing of Vikas bhi and Virasat bhi. So that is something that he has actually been following, I think, very strongly, where he strongly believes that for a person to maybe promote or to support or to encourage his virasat, you don't, that doesn't mean that you are not towards Vikas. So that is something that he has brought to Kashi, that he has given to Kashi. And contrary to what a lot of opposition leaders are talking about, how he's an outsider, I would say that today he is actually, people look up to him as their brother, as their son, as somebody from their family, because they don't need him to come there and campaign at all. So, he being the star campaigner of the BJP, he has actually his campaign in his own constituency in Kashi is limited to this 5-kilometer rally that he had yesterday, and just look at the turnout that he had, because see, he has been there more than I think he's been there almost 60 times now, so that he doesn't need to come there on for a specific purpose of campaigning. So he is very much a part of the people's lives, so he has connected so well with all of them. He has understood the concerns. He knows exactly what their concerns are, whether it may be the Hindus in Kashi or it may be the other communities. There is a huge art and cultural scene also in Kashi. So that also, he understands and he promotes it very beautifully. So he, as the Prime Minister, he as the MP of Kashi, and along with the Chief Minister, Yogi Adityanath, they have promoted this thing of one district, one product. So he has actually brought out everything beautiful about Kashi. He has promoted and brought it out on the global scene. He has given it not just the Kashi Vishwanath corridor and not just the redevelopment of and the beautification of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. At the same time, there is a huge push on the infrastructure. There is the cricket stadium, the Rudraksh Convention Center. There are a whole lot of things that you can talk about, and about how Kashi has redeveloped. It has actually come up of age, and at the same time, you have this sense of tradition as well. So he is somebody who strongly believes that he can wearing this bhasma on his forehead, and at the same time he has this vision which is much beyond the vision of any of the current political leaders. So that is how he is progressive, and at the same time he is very much rooted with his tradition and culture as well. So I think that is a very beautiful blend here, and that is something that stands out.
Rajalakshmi, just hold on to that thought. Arvind Chaturvedi, my colleague and bureau head for Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh, is also joining us at this point in time live. He's in fact outside the nomination center. Arvind, प्रधानमंत्री मोदी कुछ ही पल में नॉमिनेशन सेंटर पहुंचने वाले हैं. लंबी चौड़ी वीआईपीज़ की लिस्ट है. क्या माहौल है अभी, ज़रा हमें बताइए.
देखिए, मैं आपको बता दूं कि यहाँ पे चारों तरफ सिर्फ आपको एसपीजी और पुलिस के लोग दिखाई पड़ रहे हैं, क्योंकि सुरक्षा व्यवस्था बहुत ही चाक चौबंद है. प्रधानमंत्री के आने के पहले वो चाहते हैं कि किसी तरह की कोई भी त्रुटि न रह जाए. प्रधानमंत्री जो है काल भैरव के लिए निकल चुके हैं। काल भैरव का दर्शन पूजन करने के तुरंत बाद प्रधानमंत्री सीधे जो है नॉमिनेशन करने के लिए जिलाधिकारी जो हमारे पीछे जिलाधिकारी का जो कार्यालय है वहां पर पहुंचेंगे। जो 4 प्रस्तावक बनाए गए हैं धीरे धीरे उन लोगों ने यहां पर आना शुरू कर दिया है। और मैं आपको बता दूं कि प्रधानमंत्री यहां पर अपना नॉमिनेशन करने के बाद यहां से रुद्राक्ष कन्वेंशन सेंटर जाएंगे जहां पे कार्यकर्ताओं को संबोधित करने का काम करेंगे और उसके बाद प्रधानमंत्री यहां से बनारस से निकल जाएंगे, अगले किसी कार्यक्रम में जाएंगे। यहां पर ये जो समझना होगा कि जिस तरीके से प्रधानमंत्री का बनारस के साथ कनेक्ट है ये अपने आप में बहुत बड़ी बात है। इसलिए क्योंकि पिछली बार तो इन्होंने कहा था कि मां गंगा ने मुझे बुलाया था और इस बार इन्होंने कहा कि मां गंगा ने मुझे गोद ले लिया है। मैं आपको बता दूं कि यहां पर ढेर सारे काम गंगा के लिए किए जा रहे हैं। बहुत सारे नाले जो गंगा में गिरते थे वो बंद कर दिए गए हैं। कई सारे नए एसटीपी यानी गंदे पानी को साफ करने के लिए एसटीपी लगाए गए हैं। उसके अलावा जैसे रुद्राक्ष का जो कन्वेंशन सेंटर है वो जापान के सहयोग से बना है। आपको मैं बता दूं अभी दशाश्वमेध प्रधानमंत्री गए थे, वहां पे एक बड़ा संकुल बनाया गया है जो पहले कभी मछली मार्केट हुआ करता था। तो हम ये कहना चाहते हैं कि काशी विश्वनाथ कॉरिडोर ही नहीं, बनारस में हर कोने में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के काम की छाप है और वो आपको दिखाई पड़ती है। यही जो है आम जनता को प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी के साथ कनेक्ट कर देती है।
बिल्कुल ठीक फरमाया आपने अरविंद, आपके पास हम वापस ज़रूर आएंगे। प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी इज़ गोइंग टू बी रीचिंग द नॉमिनेशन सेंटर in about an hour and a half's time. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, with us on the program as well. Mr. Kevin Matthew Sunny, political analyst, also joins us on the show. Mr. Bhatt, what is going to be, the legacy of Kashi from here on? Like I said, it's served as a beacon of development. It is a bright light when it comes to showing that, a city, if handed to the right man, can grow leaps and bounds in a matter of time, is also a message to the people who are part of the BJP and far more importantly, Mr. Bhatt, that to the opposition as well, who for a very long time have taken similar cities for granted.
You asked about the legacy of Kashi. I'll put it very simply. Legacy of Kashi is to show the world this is what India will be in a due course of time. Kashi is a pilot project for blending of modern India with its own heritage, Virasat. Because on one side, when a man like Narendra Bhai conducts a road show, you find women standing on their balconies and performing aartis. On the other side, you see all the modern facilities available now in Kashi during last 10 years. Once upon a time, when we ourselves visited Kashi, it was nothing special. It was anything like, what was there? A dirty Surat, dirty Kashi. That was the simile that used to come. Now today, Surat is the most cleanest city and Kashi is the most beautiful city. The blending of Surat and Kashi, see, this is when I'm coming to the analogy. Because we are in the 21st century. And you have to understand that Arwachin, as we call it, as we term it, ultra modern, which India is becoming, is a reflection which you can see in Kashi. And this road show and hoopla, opposition always shouts, why so much behind a man? It's not the man. In this century, in the world of social media, in the world of electronics, when anybody and everybody can see everything, me sitting here about 2,000 kilometers away is able to see what Narendra Bhai was doing in Kashi live. It means that the entire world has seen it. And by doing this, see, if I look at it from a political perspective also, by this one road show yesterday night, Narendra Bhai made sure that his coming phases of election are secure. 5th, 6th and 7th phase is absolutely secure. Not just Purvanchal or Uttar Pradesh. And as far as the legacy is concerned, the blending, the branding, some people call it, event management. But in today's world, if you have not managed the event properly, then things could go haywire.
You're absolutely
The
right.
first job is to manage the event. And by just managing it to the microsecond, it's proven to the world that we have arrived.
Absolutely. Let
And
me
you
also rope
can't
in
take-
Kevin Matthew Sunny into this conversation as well. Kevin, I don't know what your opinion is about what Kashi is all about, but definitely I would like to know what you make of the Prime Minister's own hard work, his own interest and his own equation with a city like Kashi, and how it has come of age under his leadership.
Sir, when you talk about, let me talk about the Prime Minister's interest. Now, I've seen the eminent panelists talk about Virasat and Vikas and Virasat. But the only thing is, or the only thing the Prime Minister is talking about is, he's not talking about Vikas, and that is my problem. See, if the Prime Minister has really done Vikas, see what is being shown, we saw what was shown when the American president came. So the better parts were shown. So you can create perspectives, but that is different from what is actually on the ground. See, I've been to Kashi last year. I saw what is there in Kashi. Yes, Kashi has a bright side, but Kashi has a dirty side too. So that exists. So even after 10 years, if the Prime Minister has only to the only thing the Prime Minister has to speak about is that 10 years ago the Congress didn't do this and the Congress didn't do that, then what I really see is only a managed event. It's okay to manage event, as Mr. Himanshu said, my events need to be managed. But before you manage the events, you need to have substance in them. That is missing. And if you've seen the Prime Minister's rallies, he's talking about Musalman or Hindu. He's not talking about Vikas. 10 years you've had. 10 years the BJP has had the mandate of the people. And that is why I think the trend is changing. And that is why so when the election started, the BJP was talking about 400. Now, even they are actually pretty aware that the trend is changing. So, and the problem here is this. You cannot fool people. India is a country that contains multitudes, and there are a lot of facades here. And to cater to them, to make their life better, वो हिंदू मुसलमान बातों से नहीं होगा भाई साहब. You need to work to actually make their life
Okay,
better.
I would want
And that is
Rajalakshmi to
where
respond to
Modi
you.
government has failed.
I would want Rajalakshmi to respond to you, but before that, my colleague Mahima is on the ground at the Kal Bhairav Mandir, which the Prime Minister will visit soon to seek blessings of Lord Shiva. Let's take a look at what the atmosphere looks like there right now.
Very important day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will file his nomination. Today is the 14th, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will file his nomination. We at present are outside Kal Bhairav Mandir, but to give our viewers a glimpse of what exactly is happening outside Kal Bhairav Mandir, we have public gathered here to just have a glimpse of their MP and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But before filing papers, the Prime Minister will pay obeisance to Ma Ganga at the Ghat and is likely to take a bath in the Ganga. Prime Minister Modi will also visit the Namo Ghat. From there, he will come to Baba Kal Bhairav. We are present right outside Kal Bhairav Mandir. He's known as the protector. But also what he's going to do after offering prayers here, the Prime Minister will go to the collectorate to file his nomination as soon as he takes blessings of Kal Bhairav. Later, he's likely to hold a meeting with the party workers at the convention centre. The filing of Prime Minister Modi's nomination papers coincides with Ganga Saptami under the auspicious day. So that is what the day was chosen by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that today he's going to file his nomination. That is the 14th, and today turns out to be, according to the astrologers, a very auspicious day. And to give a brief about the security beef up ahead of Prime Minister's visit here at the Baba Kal Bhairav Mandir.
All right, that was Mahima, my colleague, in fact, elucidating the atmosphere in Varanasi today. Rajalakshmi Joshi, we're going to come back to our conversation. Well, of course, Kevin has his own point of view when it comes to the Bharatiya Janata Party. Not fully convinced that, this is entirely a matter of development or growth. It could also be posturing, is what he suggested.
Vineet, I think that Mr. Kevin, even if he has visited Kashi, he probably didn't see, the 2,833 kilometers of the national highway projects that are linking, that are actually happening in this term. I mean, that has happened in this term of PM Modi, which was not there earlier, and which is,
Rajalaxmi, why do you
yeah.
think that the opposition, and a few, quarters of our country refuse to recognize this development? I mean, not even a single nod to thousands of kilometers of highways and infrastructure that has come up, and they always take it
Vineet,
back.
let me ask you one question.
That they
Vineet, let
always
me ask
take
you
it
one
back.
question.
Let me. Okay, no, I do all the asking here. I am the anchor. You're not. So hold on. They always take it back to Hindu Muslim.
Vineet, that is a very myopic view, I would say. So it is something that they have, like this ostrich tendency. You put your head into the sand and you think that either you think that the world has not changed, or you think that everything. I mean, you look at things as per your own perspective. You close your eyes to the reality. That is how things are. So that is why. Their situation has come down from wherever. See, there was this time when they were 400 plus. The only time that in our in history of after independence that any party has seen 400 par was the Congress, but now they have come down to 1/10 of it. So that is the reason, because they have closed their eyes to the reality. So they are not, see, and anytime that somebody like me, or say maybe Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, if we mention any of this, then they talk about it as if we are glorifying this thing, or that we are speaking pro BJP. They're closing their eyes to the reality. So like I was talking about, say they close their eyes to. I'm talking only about Varanasi here. I'm not even talking about Uttar Pradesh. I'm not talking about the rest of Bharat. I'm talking about Varanasi. I'm talking about the 2,833 kilometers of national highway that is linking Varanasi to many other centers. So that is something that probably Mr. Kevin has missed out. He has missed out the 380-bed cancer hospital that has come up in Varanasi and in the BHU. So thankfully, he didn't have to visit the cancer hospital, because that is, God forbid, nobody should have to visit it, but it is there now. So then he probably didn't visit the cricket stadium also. So that is something that he probably missed. Maybe there were no matches at that time. Then he probably didn't go to the Rudraksh
Okay,
Convention
let's
Center.
let's get a response from Kevin, and then we go to Mr. Bhatt. Kevin.
Because when Rajalakshmi ma'am says, I have missed all these things. So my question to her is, why has the PM missed all these things? Because I've been following the election campaign of the BJP and the PM. I didn't see the PM talking about this. This is the fourth phase of elections right now. So even in the past three phases, I didn't see the Prime Minister speaking about Vikas that he has done. So the Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, he has always been talking about Hindu or Muslim. He's always been talking about Congress. Congress hasn't done this. Congress hasn't done that. He's always talking about Congress ki manifesto. You have this. Congress is going to do this. Why, if all this is so bright and beautiful, the Prime Minister himself has missed it out. So the BJP Karyakartas and the people like Rajalakshmi ma'am, maybe before they try to
She's not a
educate
BJP
me.
Karyakarta. She's not a BJP Karyakarta.
Okay.
She's an independent
all
analyst,
the
just like you are.
Yeah, independent.
And I'm
all
sure
these
you're not a
people-
Congress Karyakarta, right?
No. I'm not a Congress Karyakarta. I don't subscribe to any political parties. I have my own politics, and that's a different thing. But yeah, I'm sorry about that. But then I'm telling you, but not her. So all these BJP Karyakartas were actual BJP Karyakartas.
So
and all
it's
the people who are behind
Mr.
that-
Bhatt, this also in fact narrates and elucidates a problem, right? If you support one faction, you are labeled as, loyal to that faction. And if you don't, then also you will by default label as supporting the other faction. And this is what, political support has boiled down to in our country.
Vinit, I'll tell you, the real fun is, I have a 35-year-old journalistic career. Initial part of mine, people used to say I'm a staunch Congress supporter. Then someone said I'm a staunch BJP supporter. Now people say, on their convenience. But I have pertinent questions, what Kevin was talking, what we are discussing today. Very, very pertinent questions. All the physical things which have been established, Raja Lakshmi spoke of that. I'm going to speak on a little higher ground. From where all this emanates, he keeps on asking, Kevin keeps on asking, that why is it that he always goes to Hindu Muslims? Well, I don't think he goes to Hindu Muslims, but he's compelled to go to. Because when on one particular election you are a God, Brahman, Janoi, Dari, Gangadhar, Gotra, whatever the whole thing is, to Omkareshwar Mandir, another election you don't visit Ram Temple when invited. That is an irony. You need to answer that. See, from other side also there are things which are happening. When you go and offer a prayer in a church, there is no problem. Then you are secular. But if you go and offer a prayer to a Kal Bhairav temple, you are non-secular. You have a problem. And this is where in a secular country, when you start doing this for the appeasement, the word called appeasement, people have been using it. Someone does minority appeasement, someone does majority appeasement. And as a journalism, we understand, we ask only questions. Me and you generally have a habit of asking questions. Who, why, what, where, when? How does it happen? When you want only 15 out of 100, when you want to send only 15 paise out of 1 rupee, then you will not develop. But when you transfer straight away entire rupee to that man's account, the money reaches him. And that they do not want to consider it as a development. The reason 21 crore people getting out of extreme poverty, for them, there's still a question that why is it that 81 crores are still given ration? But when logical answer is given by the man himself, Narendra Modi, I'm not saying anything out of my own pocket. He himself has said, we have brought out these people from extreme poverty and we need to nurture them so that they do not fall back into the same pit.
Right. And Rajalakshmi, do you think it's a bit of a travesty that, even as, you as a supporter of the good work that the government has done, there are binary labels for you now. It's become extremely tight, this loyalty game that, you may have reservations about what the BJP have done in certain areas. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic. But if you compliment the Bharatiya Janata Party for the good work that they have done when it comes to highways, when it comes to infrastructure, when it comes to the overall economy, you immediately are labeled as a supporter. That neutrality has completely disappeared, and these binary labels is what is perhaps also plaguing the minds and the intellect of the opposition.
Yes, Vineet, like I was telling you earlier, that, if you close your eyes and ears to something that maybe even the well-wishers or the critics are telling you, then you'll never be able to overcome or you'll never be able to improve on certain aspects. So like I was telling you about how PM Modi has visited Kashi almost close to 60 times. And in a very stark contrast, Mr. Rahul Gandhi has visited Wayanad, say maybe less than 5 times. And just imagine that he lost his constituency in Amethi once, and then he visited there only 3 times in the last 5 years. So that is, and if I point that out, that becomes like I am branded as a BJP supporter or a spokesperson or anything of that sort. So you have to understand there is a huge difference between the way in which PM Modi approaches or treats his the way in which he approaches the election. He doesn't go to a temple only for elections. He goes there consistently. He doesn't go there and announce a project, or he doesn't talk about a certain thing only because of the elections. Like you have seen during the Mann Ki Baat, he has spoken about a whole lot of issues. It is that something that he has been connecting with the people. And it was not only during elections. He didn't he didn't keep visiting the Northeast only during elections. He didn't visit the state of Tamil Nadu only during elections. So that is something that actually puts him apart from the other opposition leaders. So that actually the others should be taking an example out of it. and they should be able to build on it. So that, there are a lot of things lacking. And sadly, they don't want to understand that. See, the way in which he had approached the 2014 elections, when we wanted to make a dent into the Congress. So at that time, he was putting a stake, and he was actually claiming this post of the Prime Minister. He had said that I am the prime ministerial candidate, and he had a whole list of issues, and he had said that this is my vision, and that I'm going to bring in things as per the Gujarat model. Now today,
all right, let me cut across to my colleague Devika right now, who's in Varanasi since yesterday. Devika, we believe the cavalcade of leaders who are going to be gracing the Prime Minister's nomination ceremony has already arrived. Take us through. Whom do you see? I think I can spot Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri and a host of other leaders. Tell us what's going on.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.